The US federal government has shut down after Congress failed to pass a continuing resolution. Roughly 7,50,000 federal employees are suffering for these critical services and programs are impacted with delays to too many government operations. Ladies and gentlemen, inside the country and around the world, I welcome all of you to today's International Affairs broadcasting from ACTV's Dhaka studio. I'll have a very distinguished gentleman here in this studio, Brigadier General Shafat Ahmed, who has experience on conflict, international affairs and of course geopolitical issues. And from Washington, we'll have our geopolitical correspondent, Norman Flatt Barnes, who has the experience of covering almost all American issues. My first question, Norman, what are going on? Why Republicans are failing to convince Democrats to come forward to see it and to reopen the US federal government shutdown? And is there any breaking news you can add on?
Greetings from Washington, D.C. Today. And today we have no new news. The Democrats and the Republicans are still being stubborn. Basically, no one has decided to even the healthcare reforms and the passing of the current budget. So it looks like we are in for at least a little more time. The only crack in the what we call in the surface is that now we are seeing the air traffic control system in the United States being affected. Some of the employees are now calling out sick, and the coverage of some of the airports is being delayed and changed around. So today, nothing new. Nothing's changed.
All right, Norman. According to the CNN's survey, 45% of the people blames Republican and President Donald Trump for this unexpected and unprecedented, right this moment, shutdown. 30% of the American people blames Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffrey, Democrats, for this shutdown. And 23% of the population, they say they have no comment. What is your comment?
My comment is basically Congress itself needs to sit down and work this thing out. It appears that we have grown adults who has personal issues regarding the passing of the budget. Some people don't want, some people appears that if they concede and they compromise, it will be a sign of weakness. For the Democrats, they feel like they have no bearing, no impact on the government, and this is their chance to them to show that we do see what's going on, and we want to have some say so in what's going on versus what's happening right now with the current Republican and Trump administration. The Republicans on the other side, they feel very confident that they have a plan, and eventually the Democrats will have to succumb to it.
Norman, I'm not an expert in American Constitution, but so far I know both the houses are leading by Congress. Republicans. Congress and Senate, both the houses are leading by
Yes.
Republicans. But 50-50 tie is not good enough to refunding. It needs 60%, 60 votes. So what is the constitutional pathway, or what is the constitutional guidelines to bring back from this deadlock or gridlock, whatever you want to say?
Yes, the Congress, yes, the House majority is Republican, but they need at least 5 to 6 Republicans to agree to this. for it to happen. The basis of the Constitution is that no one party will have ruling and overseeing exactly what's going on. So they have to have buy-in, at least a small percentage. In this case, 5 to 6 Democrats need to switch their decisions in order for this to go.
All right, Norman, let me come back to studio where there is my very favorite person, General Shafat. General Shafat, you know, world's #1 economy, world's #1 militarily strongest country, and so far democracy is purified, systematic and balanced. In that situation, Donald Trump is facing government shutdown because of the non-cooperation of the opposition, I mean Democrats, who are minor in the houses. What kind of balance is this? How do you see? Is it a beauty of democracy, or this is a kind of political blame game?
Thank you very much. Thank you for a very interesting question, because you see, US Congress as it is, they do not have Article 70 like ours. So the members of both the houses, Senate and the House of Representatives, they are free to open their mind, because they have to look after their constituents.
Yes,
Because they are
they are voters.
They are voters. They are more concerned what their people talk about. Say what is their concern. So that is how they go. If you remember, there was one incident when Obamacare was being debated. What's his name? The gentleman has died. This astronaut senator, forgetting his name. Being a Republican, he voted against it. That is how that was saved.
This time also 3 Democrats voted for refunding, but other Democrats did not.
So that is the beauty of democracy in USA. So that has played up. And you are right, the #1 economy, #1 military power, yet they have differences among themselves. They clash of their own interest, the internal interest. It is not international, it is their internal interest. So that is what is playing there. And probably Donald Trump had been able to convince the entire population. Because the USA is a sort of divided nation now in that sense.
Let me do this question to Norman. Norman is very well experienced personality. Norman, General Shafat says the citizens of USA are deeply divided at this stage, and news outlets by the Republicans, I mean conservatives, are saying that this is a Chuck Schumer shutdown, but the Democrat-led medias are saying this is a failure of President Trump and it is a Trump shutdown. As a newsman, as a journalist, as a negotiator, how you explain this and how it is impacting the regular life of federal employees?
Believe it or not, the media has a profound effect on the opinions and the decisions of Congress. They impacted by what is put out there. The Democrats will always say it's the Republicans and the incumbent president. Of course, the majority group, the Republicans, also say, well, it's a small group of disenchanted Democrats who is holding us up and causing problems for the nation. So we are in an environment where they like to, politicians like to shift blame for their actually inaction. There's a poll out there saying 31% of the population believe both parties are equally at fault in guarding what's not happening with the government. So we are, again, a country divided, and it appears now we have more divided, that now the people are distrusting our lawmakers.
Norman, so for the information in the latest news that federal employees are not getting their paycheck, where the congressmen and the senators are receiving their paycheck. So can you acknowledge that this is discrimination?
Well, it's more than that. It's written in the Constitution that the Congress and lawmakers will be paid regardless of the certain situation going on in the country. It's strange to see. Again, our lawmakers supposed to be representing our people, and the people can't be paid, but they must be paid. So that's a contradiction. We are making deals and with Argentina and other places during this time, and we do not have a balanced budget, but we're doing a bailout. So again, another contradiction. So what is going on? And people are basically saying we need to revisit on how we are doing our fiscal management, and so we can avoid these things in the future. Because if we don't make a change, this will happen again and again and again, and we'll never have a balanced budget, and we'll be going through this thing on a yearly basis. So again, the people, the voters are now looking at the problem. The problem is Congress.
All right, Norman, let me come back for a fact check here with General Shafat, sir. You have heard the news is going on that congressmen and senators are getting their regular paycheck. Even the shutdown is going on where employees, 750,000 employees are in a huge depression that they are not going to get their paycheck. What kind of political discrimination it is, even it is in America?
Thank you. Now, see, like what you say in our country also, that is, the politicians are getting their share, come what may, whether people get or not, they will get their share. Similarly, there also, because of the rules, the law is like that congressmen will keep on getting that. That's what I do not know much about it. But probably there is a law that government may shut down, but the Congress people, members of the Congress, both the houses will continue getting their salaries.
Let me read one quote from Lee Kuan Yew, Sri Lanka, Singaporean founder, prime minister who became the legend in Singapore development. He said 98% of the political electoral businessmen, they look for the opportunity in 5 years and they secure their interest. 1% become a statesman who change the country forever.
Correct.
And 1% become philosopher,
Correct.
writes the guidelines for the next generation. Norman, I want to do a question on you. What's going on in different parts of the United States where President Trump is exercising his military trainings within the country, within the cities, and militaries are reacting on that, governors are reacting, political parties are reacting, but President Trump says he will continue his works to restore the law and order inside the United States.
Yes, today the courts are, the lower courts are attempting to block the request from the president to insert the military, the National Guard in this situation, into the cities of Chicago and Portland. They are still fighting that, even though troops are moving as we speak into Chicago. Yesterday, the president intimated during a conversation that he may consider the Insurrection Act, which is an act that he as president can impact and put in place regardless of what Congress says. If he feels that the nation is in threat, crime, national security issues, he can put the military on the street immediately to suppress any type of crime, oppression, and what he considers national threats. So this is a very serious thing that he is basically mentioning it, considering that, and he has the power by Congress again to implement this.
Norman, this morning I was hearing this speech by the governor of Chicago, mayor of Chicago, and the local congressman of Chicago. They said President Trump is using its military for his own political vision. He is insulting the local government, local governor, local MPs, and local police. So huge debate has come from United States to our newsroom. I want to ask a general. Sir, recently Defense Secretary has called upon more than 600 generals from around the globe from their bases, and he advised them to be slim, not to be fatty. He advised them to work for the nation. What does it mean when Defense Secretary insults the generals?
Thank you very much. This is a very rare thing that has happened in USA, because US military has a tradition, and traditionally there are US armed military is a very, what do you call, well-knit organization. And this sort of comment by the Defense Secretary, now is known as Secretary of War,
Secretary
I
of
think.
War, yeah.
Secretary of War. And it really sort of, you're right, they're sort of insulting to them, because you don't find fatty people in US Armed Forces. Very rare.
If even, how come a defense secretary or secretary of war can say be slim?
I don't know, really.
Because humiliation.
It's sort of humiliation. Because one thing which is to me looks alarming is some of the things that is taking place in USA is very unfortunate, and indicates that there is something wrong in this somewhere. Because this is not the first time that there have been demonstrations, there have been agitations all over in USA. It has happened in the past also. If you go back to the 60s, when there was movement against the nuclear thing, yes, National Guards used to be moved, but then they used to go, take action, come back. But not to the level that what President Trump is trying to do.
All right, let me get a very realistic answer from him, because you are giving from your experience. He is on the spot. Norman, would you mind to explain? We want to learn about it. Why more than 600 generals have been called from different parts of the world? They could do a Skype call, video call. They could do this conference in such way. And why Secretary of War said, be slim, not to be fatty, work for the country. They are work for home. Number one. Number two is appointing National Guards to the different city. Donald Trump is trying to make the America more controversial, or system he's going to change. What do you think? What is your explanation?
Yes, the meeting he had this week, last week, with the senior military leaders was a unique event. The Secretary of War, the new Secretary of War, took this opportunity to put out his agenda towards the U.S. military. The presentation was not received very warmly, was not embraced. It was lukewarm, and some of the leaders felt that it was basically offensive. The U.S. military is the finest in the world. The standard's always been the same, one standard. To come in and say that there was different standards and he wants to change things, gave an indicator that the people who've been there over, 40, 50 years have not been doing their job, and the tradition of the military, 200 years or more, a tradition, is not up to standard. That is far from what is believed and what is stated, and they are not very happy with what the future holds. We're seeing it now with the military being deployed into the cities. However, the military has one thing I don't think the Secretary realized, that they took an oath to the Constitution, not to the man, not to the plan.
Let's see
So
what's
we think.
yeah, go ahead. Let's see what going to take place in recent days. We have to look at the Gaza ceasefire talks and Israel's deportation of activists on Samud flotilla. Israel recently intercepted a flotilla of 8 ships bound for Gaza, detained and deported activists, including the Greta Thunberg, who is very famous for her activities, and indirect ceasefire. Peace negotiations are being in Egypt. My question to General Shafat, are you hopeful on this negotiation of 20 points put by President Donald Trump without even talking with the counterpart Hamas?
I'll keep my fingers crossed, because it's very difficult to predict what is going to happen, because it seems that Israel is probably not going to listen to the USA, because bombing Doha was one which indicated that they are not going by the dictates from Washington. Netanyahu has his own agenda, and in that agenda probably he is trying to buy time in Gaza, because will that 20-point peace plan at the end will at all be materialized is question mark. First of all, there are certain conditions which Hamas has to meet, Israel has to meet. Will they accept it? It is very doubtful. And then assume that both Israel and Hamas agree to the proposal. What about the Gaza people of Gaza? There is nothing mentioned about them. What will happen to them?
In 20 points I have gone through, there is nothing.
Nothing.
No.
They are not talking about the people of Gaza.
President Trump is actually trying to secure Israel's interest.
Probably, is he going to make it his sort of Trump city or Trump area where he is going to do his development work? I do not know, because he is a businessman basically, and so far it seems that everything is whatever he is doing is related to business. So here I do not know. It's very difficult to predict whether Trump's plan will succeed or not.
Hamas says that they are going through the conditions, they will let know, but Trump is pushing Hamas to make decisions so fast. And analytics of this issue, they are saying if Hamas signed this agreement with IDF, I mean Israel, then Hezbollah, Houthi, Iraqi militias, Syrian IS all have to come to the same sort of agreement. So here is a huge confusion. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to go for a short commercial break, but after the break we will be talking more about Russia-Ukraine war and developments, and of course the interest of the Gazan people on this 20-point peace plan.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। এসএ পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 রবার্টস লেন, সিঙ্গাপুর 218302। ফোন 0065 629 24900। বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো 80টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with modern design. Experience 5-star comfort in suites and rooms. Sophisticated fine dining restaurant. Crystal clear swimming pool for ultimate relaxation.
There is renewed hope for Gaza's ceasefire, with US envoys heading to Cairo for talks to release Israeli hostages. On the other side, Israel also has released very few number of Palestinians according to the agreement they have. And meanwhile, Israel continues its military offensive and has moved to close the last remaining route from southern to northern Gaza. Israel is doing too much, sir. And my first question would be regarding this: what are the realistic prospects of a ceasefire being achieved through indirect talks, and which side has more leverage at present? What do you think, sir?
It seems that probably Israelis have the upper hand as usual, because whatever Trump is doing, keeping in mind that Israel gets its 100% share, rather more than that. In the process, whether people of Gaza are suffering on is immaterial. Now, as you mentioned that if Hamas signs the agreement, what about others? How will they come in? But then probably Hamas may sign, but others will not join in. It's very difficult. You see, few things to understand, that one, there is no mention of people of Gaza. Secondly, there is no mention of Palestinian state. They are treating Gaza as sort of an area which is outside all the either from the Israel government or any other government. Probably it will be controlled by an authority, where probably Tony Blair has been tipped to be the head of their organization. What will they do? We do not know. How the people of Gaza be rehabilitated? There is nothing has been mentioned. What sort of thing they will do? Will they be allowed to have their own government, have their own system? They have not mentioned. What will relation between people of Gaza and West Bank? There has not been decided. So there are many questions there. Probably Trump is trying to help Israel to get the prisoners back. Because inside, although we do not know, but whatever we can hear, that inside Israel things are not well under control of Netanyahu. Because there is a lot of pressure from within the Israelis to get the prisoners back. And they are not liking the war as it is going on.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Let me connect with Washington, D.C. I have a different question for the flotilla, Samud. How might the deportation of international activists affect global public opinion and diplomatic pressure, and along with the legitimacy of Israel's action? And for Norman, I tell you, one of the very senior photographer of Bangladesh, Shahid Alam, included in that team, and another Bangladeshi-born British girl, she is also included there. So Bangladesh has a lot of interest to know about this. Please tell us something. How might the deportation for international activists will hamper the international opinion?
Yes, Israel's action to deport and capture and send the activists away from Gaza has galvanized the world. International opinion has changed, it's shifting. You're seeing more protests, more outcry, more diplomatic pressure being put on to Israel regarding on being actually is the question is now is we're seriously looking at the legitimacy of Israel's action in the eyes of the world. It's not good. It's not well. How they treat people. We know how they're treating the people in Gaza, Palestine, but we now see how they treat outsiders coming in to help people. So there's an opinion that We have a way, Israel has a way of doing things, and we do not care, or we have very little concern about the welfare of the people. That is going to be very detrimental in a diplomatic part in Israel dealing with the rest of the world.
Norman, whenever Israel take any actions or reactions for any country, any group, or any humanitarian situation Israel violates, White House or United States never condemns it, but whenever other any group like Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthi, Iraqi militia, Syrian IS or Iran does something for Israel, White House doesn't take even 1 hour to give their reaction and to start operating from Washington, advising Tel Aviv to go for reaction. How do you see world's #1 country, world's most superpower, have 2 eyes for 2 parties?
Well, it appears in this situation we have 1 eye. We are basically watching and supporting Israel. It's again taken away from the public opinion, international, basically the credibility of Israel, and now the U.S. is being questioned on the decision making and what type of friends. So if the question now is Israel is acting this way, the United States, what about you? Are you next? Are you the same way? Or you're just a proxy? They're just a proxy for what the United States really want to do in the region. We understand that there's a plan in place for repopulation, redevelopment, and that. And we know that some of the people behind it are land developers by nature. They want to develop that in the mindset of a Western world. That is being disputed. That is being contested. And the issue about the Palestinian state has not been put on the table. And the question is why.
Norman, I know you have some time limitations. You have only 3 minutes to go. My question will be drones, heavy threats, and Russian shadow fleet under scrutiny in Europe. News is saying French naval forces boarded a tanker suspected of involvement in Russian drone operation near Denmark. EU leaders are conveying amid escalating concerns over hybrid warfare, including drones attacks and cyber incursions. And one very new term I am going to tell you, some analysts are now calling Russia's war with Ukraine unwinnable for Moscow. What is your take on that? Unwinnable.
That's a very interesting comment. The actual strategy is to put pressure, be patient, be precise in the drone incursion, create a target for the infrastructure. Winter is coming along now, so they want to target the infrastructure. The energy warfare is now starting, cut off the supply as it get cold. They will quit, lay down their arms, and walk away. So I don't really understand the concept of unwinnable. I mean, what is a win? One party quits, the other party stands around. There will be no one who's going to walk in and take over and conquer it. It could be a situation where I just get tired. One party decide I want to stop and quit. So we're waiting to see which one blinks first.
All right, Norman, have a good day. Today weather is very good in Washington. Natural weather is very good, but political weather is not good. I wish you a very good day, Norman, and I appreciate your journalism. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir, let me come back to you. As you heard that analysts are telling that unwinnable, this is for Moscow. Moscow or Russia is such a superpower, but they are struggling to end this combat operation in Ukraine. Is this because of direct engagement of NATO, European countries' support, and America's influence? Ukraine is becoming underdog.
I don't know really. It's a cat and mouse game going on. It seems in Ukraine, the whole thing could have been over. But then probably both the Western powers as well as Moscow are dragging the thing, because Russia has achieved what they wanted to, because the portion that they want in Ukraine, that is already under their control. And probably
but Ukraine says they have to quit this land.
the NATO has probably, European countries have accepted it, that, and they are probably agreed, they are willing to cede that portion to Russia. And probably it is a question of Mr. Zelensky's ego, because again here, like the Gaza, the people of Ukraine are suffering. The sufferer are the Ukrainian people. They are a country which is so advanced and now getting destroyed.
If I just want to know, you are a general. You work for Bangladesh military. I always call one of the finest military in the world, one of the. That's
Thank
why
you.
they have huge demand from United Nations
Thank
to
you.
go for the peacekeeping missions in different areas. I'm very fortunate. I have worked with at least 7 Bangladeshi missions, Banbat 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have seen how disciplined they are. As a disciplined force, former member, veteran, general, how do you see the warfare, war game or war planning by Vladimir Putin, who was himself a KGB guy, but he is doing very well. He is organizing his military. What is the secret of this success to make Russia such a superpower and threat for United States and European, so many countries?
It's not, you see, Mr. Putin is the head, but there is a machinery which works behind. And it is not a new machinery. You see, Soviet Union developed in the process. Soviet Union existed for 70 years.
Yes.
So from there, Russia inherited everything. So that organization, that mechanism is working. And after all, you see, you have to understand, Napoleon failed in Russia. And when Hitler ventured, he was warned that
Sir,
you are going
these two events took place because of natural volatility of Russia, natural calamity of Russia, but Russian soldier did not win that. According to history, Russia loses so many wars. Russia loses war in 1886 with Crimea.
Yes,
Russia loses war in 1905 with Japan.
yes,
Russia occupied Poland and later they have gone back.
oh, yes.
Russia loses even the first war in Georgia. So
Okay.
Russia has a lot of war losing history. Do you think this is going to be repeated with Ukraine, as Ukraine is backed by EU, NATO and United States?
You see, circumstances are different, because in 21st century at this time, Russia knows the weaknesses of NATO, because Europe is a very divided continent. Every nation has their own interest. So he is playing with that, Putin. And then Europe is dependent on Russian oil, gas. That is another big factor. So he's trying to play with that. So at the same time, Ukraine, you see, as you say, Zelensky keeps on talking that he's been betrayed by the West. Because probably initially Zelensky thought that the USA and European Union will come in a full force and solve the problem. But they had their own limitation. At the same, because USA had to think, he's talking of Tomahawk. The moment Tomahawk is stalled there, Russia is going to take action. How far will USA go to escalate the war? There's a
Not
big-
directly.
Not
they will
directly.
go.
So as long as it is indirect going on, so probably this game will continue.
Yes, many commentators and many senior journalists are telling this war is going to be prolonged war in Europe, because President Donald Trump could not handle it properly. He made division among NATO members, And interestingly, last almost 1 month, President Donald Trump didn't mention the term NATO, rather than he is very emphasizing on EU. He says European countries will take their own shelter, own safety, own protection. Ladies and gentlemen, I really apologize for a short commercial break. When I'll be back, I will be talking with General Shafat regarding a new NATO kind of agreement took place recently, which did not get so much exposure in media, but it is very important for us to discuss. That is Pakistan and Saudi Arab strategic compact, because this is a kind of draft copy of NATO agreement. If one country get attacked, another country will feel same.
Modern gym and serene spa for well-being. Perfect venue for corporate events, weddings and parties. Seamless and secured. Elegant and eye-catching design. Indulge, relax, discover the first 5-star chain hotels in Bangladesh. Grand Palace Hotel Dhaka, 22 Kakrail, Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Welcome to Grand Club at Mirpur 10 Dhaka. Elegant spa and wellness facility for ladies and gents. Play pool and snooker in international standard billiard zone. World-class gym facility with exclusive equipment for man and woman. A restaurant of delicious local and international cuisine. Fully air-conditioned building with spacious banquet, car lift, sky view rooftop restaurant, all in one. Grand Club Limited.
Dear viewers, as I said, on September 17, 2025, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia formalized a defense pact under which an attack on one is to be considered an aggression on both. It is a kind of photocopy of NATO agreement. Sir, I want to draw your attention. The pact is described by Pakistan's officials as purely defensive and covering a comprehensive spectrum, joint exercises, intelligence sharing and deterrence, etc. My question is how the other countries are reacting.
Before you answer your question how other countries are reacting, I'd like to say a few words about how did they come to this point of pact. You see, Saudi Arabia was one of the first country to recognize Pakistan in 47. As back as 1951, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia signed a treaty of friendship. So, right from early 50s, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia had a very cordial relationship, and it had been like that continued. As far as the defense cooperation between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, again this goes back to 60s. Okay. At one stage, there were almost 15,000 Pakistani troops stationed in Saudi Arabia. That has been reduced. It has been reduced. Now probably they have anything around 8 to 10,000 probably. So Pakistan has a very strong
presence in
Saudi Arabia. Militarily. The incidents in Doha probably alarmed Saudi Arabia. Now you may ask that Saudi Arabia has also defense activities with India. But then the activities with India is at a limited scale. But whereas with
That's
Pakistan,
mostly training part.
But as far as with Pakistan is concerned, it's a long drawn.
Yes.
And they know each other very well. So they went onto that. And I have a hunch, probably both China and USA had given green signal, you can go ahead. Now they are talking about few things. They are talking about training. They are talking about intelligence sharing.
Exercises.
Their exercises.
Yes.
They are talking about
Intelligence sharing.
Logistic support. But if you look at it, Pakistan is a nuclear armed country. Probably Pakistan will be the third country in the world after USA and Russia to provide nuclear cover to another country. Although it is not mentioned, but it is taken that way. But again the question is, in case Pakistan's main concern is with India, in any future clash between India and Pakistan, how far will Saudi Arabia proceed? Pakistan has a bitter experience, being member of SATO and CENTO, and at some in 60s and early 60s and late 50s, Pakistan is to be known as the ally of the allies of USA. That USA did not help Pakistan in the 65 war.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, USA completely stopped. So Pakistan has taken a lesson out of it. This is probably more of a, to me, it seems that it is more of a diplomatic move that Pakistan has done.
Sir, I asked about the Indian reaction. I am curious to know about the Israel's and Iran's reaction, because Saudi Arabia felt that this is a threat for from Iran and also from Israel after the Qatar attack.
I have a different opinion. The Iranian president welcomed the treaty in United Nations speech. In the official media also, Iran has welcomed the treaty. As a matter of fact, they mentioned that it should be expanded, including all other Middle Eastern countries. Because Iran is not very keen to now go and get entangled in anti-Saudi activities. After what happened in
Iran-Israel war.
Iran-Israel war, Iran will be very reluctant to get involved in it. Iran will be more keen to work out a balance whereby they can maintain a good relationship with Saudi Arabia also. Because if you remember, Khamenei has mentioned that the difference between Shia and Sunni is an artificial difference. He is trying to patch the gap. So that means that Iran is moving more diplomatically to solve the problem. Another thing is this, Iran has seen that whatever they do with India, at the end of the day in a question of crisis, India took side of Israel.
Yes.
So that is another factor. All these things indicate that Iran is not against it. One. As far as India is concerned, India's main concern is that how will it affect the Saudi-India economic relation. Because India knows that militarily they cannot go far with Saudi Arabia. It is their economic activities, because they have almost 2.5 million workers, Indian workers in Saudi Arabia. They get almost, I think, over $7 billion a year from Saudi Arabia. So they do not want that to be disturbed.
Sir, I need to add one thing. There is ambiguity around whether Pakistan nuclear deterrent would be extended or partially made available to Saudi Arabia. Some statements suggested this, others retracted, saying nuclear weapons are not on the radar.
Okay, two things. Yes, on paper it says that there is no nuclear touch in it. Saudi spokesman said it is a comprehensive plan. One of the senators asked MBS, Crown Prince
Mohammed bin
Salman, that are you planning for any nuclear weapon? And he said, no, why should you plan? If need be, I can buy it from Pakistan. He categorically said that I can buy it from Pakistan. That indicates that they have that sort of relationship, that in case the only threat to Saudi Arabia, nuclear threat, is from Israel. So for that counter, probably Pakistan will be of help. But now, will Pakistan get engaged in that is a big question mark. Because nuclear is one thing which probably even Israel will not touch, because it will destroy Israel. If it
one nuclear bomb is enough to destroy the entire Israel.
Not only that, you see, if it anywhere in the Middle East, it will be Israel will be affected. So they have to be careful. And as far as Pakistan is concerned, Pakistan would not like to venture on anything which may disturb their present status quo, nuclear status quo that they are maintaining. Because a big achievement on the part of Pakistan, diplomatic achievement, is, if you see, Pakistan's army chief had 3 sessions with President Trump in last 2 months.
So there is a green signal. Sir, I will ask you one question, but before that I have to given background. Given the mixed signals over whether Pakistan nuclear deterrent is extendable under the pact, how should analysts interpret the nuclear umbrella angle? Is this just rhetorical deterrence, or could it lead to the real shifts in nuclear doctrine or posture? One more thing I just want to add, if you look at the geography, you will see Saudi Arabia, then Persian Gulf, then Iran, then Pakistan. So Saudi Arabia has done it according to the advice of the White House or United States to give another enemy in the border of Iran in the eastern part.
I tend to disagree. Again, I will go back. In 60s, there was a thing known as RCD, Regional Cooperation of Development, which consists of Turkey, Iran, Pakistan. And underhand, they have a very good relation between these 3 countries.
Yeah, Muslim.
Yes. So Turkey, Pakistan, they have very good relations. Iran, Pakistan, the problem that there is, the existing problem in Balochistan, if you take out India factor, there is no problem between Pakistan and Iran. The whole thing is being played by the Indians. They are keeping the thing alive. Because I have served in Balochistan, I have been in Quetta and around for 3 years, so I know their mentality. It is the Indian which is disturbing, because India is playing the game what Pakistan is playing in Kashmir.
Sir, if you welcome this pact, strategic pact or military pact, what do you suggest for the Bangladesh? Because Bangladesh is also facing so much of troubles in the border areas.
You made me laugh, because you see, it's not the same thing. Bangladesh situation is completely different. You have to be very, very careful, very careful, because you are a country which is surrounded by, on the 90% of your area. If you look at the international Bangladesh border, out of the entire border, only 271 kilometers is Myanmar. Rest entire border is India.
4,800
something like that. Okay. So, and a country which is how many times bigger than Bangladesh, we do not know, which is aspiring to become a world power. Economically, militarily, they are trying to take a world.
Right, sir. I really appreciate your knowledge on this Saudi-Pakistan pact and your comments on that. I really appreciate. I hope the Bangladeshi policymakers or Department of Foreign Affairs will definitely go through it and find the opportunity. Can Bangladesh take any advantages, sir? We are in the last minute of the show. I'm going to surprise my viewers today. Always, I try to convey the best wishes for the notable personalities of the world. Today is a birthday of Vladimir Putin, the Russian president. His birthday, he was born in 1952. He served as a KGB officer in Berlin. He served as a mayor of St. Petersburg. Then he became the vice president, and after a long time he is serving Russia as a president. Best wishes from this show, Vladimir Putin. Happy birthday, Excellency. And on the other side, You know, America Got Talents. There is a talent hunting show in America, very popular, and Simon Cowell is very popular among the American people and people around the world. Today is his birthday also. You want to say happy birthday, Simon. I'll see you tomorrow.